Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a long-awaited video with you all about the different options that you have after you leave teaching. So for those of you that don't know, I was a teacher for a couple of years and I did actually leave teaching just a few months ago. I have started a new career path that is totally different from teaching, and I've gotten lots of questions since then asking how did I come about finding the job that I got, what were all the jobs that I explored, what different opportunities came my way, because I know that that's the scariest thing and the hardest thing when leaving is like, what am I going to do now? I need a job, but what else can I do? Because I feel like with teachers, it's so put in our heads that that's the only thing that we can do. Like, we cannot leave the education field, but that is so not true. So I want to share with you some of the different experiences that I went through today, and also the different job opportunities that came my way and that were interesting to me while I was searching. I want to try to include as many different options as I possibly can, so I have a bunch written down here so I don't forget any, but I'm going to start off with some things that are related to teaching but just might not be classroom teachers, because this is where I started. I was still getting my master's at the time that I left teaching, and I really did love teaching. Like, that wasn't the problem. I just felt like being in that classroom setting was not teaching to me, and I did not enjoy that. But I explored other options that were just out of a classroom setting, or like having my own class of that many students during this time. So here are some of the things that I came up with for people that just kind of wanted to still be in a school setting or in the education world, but just not be a classroom teacher. So one of the things I looked into was becoming a director or assistant director at different educational facilities, such as things like Kinder Care or Head Start. There's a ton of different like lower elementary, normally preschool or childcare facilities that hire ex-teachers or former teachers for their directors or assistant directors, and you don't need like an administration degree to have a master's like it would be to become a principal at a public school, you know? So lots of opportunities for that were out there. And another one is becoming like an intervention teacher or a specialist of some kind. So maybe you're somebody that pulls kids out of the normal classroom and then does some intervention with them, whether it's math, reading, anything like that. Every school has them, and then you'll send them back to their normal class, and then you'll pull another group of kids. So you don't have like your own set class every day, but you work with kids in the school buildings. So if you have a passion for reading specifically or math specifically, there's tons of jobs that you can get just being a specialist, and you oftentimes don't need another degree to do them. Sometimes it might help to have a concentration in reading or in math if you can have that. I personally did not have that, and I had quite a few people come my way with opportunities who were interested in talking to me more and interviewing me about positions like that. So you don't have to have a specialized degree. Going along with that, a lot of those special classes that kids go to, like art, music, gym, library, a lot of them, they don't need a second degree. Some of them, depending on what state you teach in and what kind of school district you're in, might need it. I know that down where I live in North Carolina, in Charlotte, I've looked up the process that it takes to become like a PE teacher, for example, and it does not require a full degree. I know that in my experience, the teachers that I've worked with in the past at other schools, they did not all actually have teaching degrees. They just had certifications in the different areas that they taught in. So like I said, it might depend on the school district that you're in or the state that you're in, but it doesn't hurt to look around. You might actually be in a state that you don't even know, where you don't actually need to have a full degree. You can just take a couple of classes or courses, and then you'll have the certification to teach it. Another thing that I looked into that I was actually really interested in for a while was becoming somebody that worked for like those big education companies like Scholastic or some curriculum companies. I've looked at the online resources that we use like IXL and Learning Center and all of those big companies that work with schools, and they help create curriculum or intervention pieces that schools then use. I thought that would be such a cool job for the longest time, and for most of them, the qualifications that you needed were just to have a teaching degree and some experience. So if you've already been teaching for some years and you have that degree, it doesn't hurt to try to apply if that's something that you would be interested in. I specifically looked at jobs that created curriculum because my master's that I was getting at the time was in curriculum and instruction, so I found all sorts of curriculum writer jobs. People that go out and teach, they do like the professional development for the curriculum. I always thought that would be kind of a fun job because I had been in so many trainings where somebody taught me about curriculum. I was like, I could do that. So there were lots of jobs in those companies for that. Now, unfortunately, all of those jobs sound awesome, and I wish that I could have done something with my degree and like the master's that I just got. But as I continued to teach and I was not happy teaching, I wanted to get further and further away from education. So I nixed all of those opportunities and went a whole different route. And I know that there are people out there like me who are also feeling the same way. So I'm going to talk about a couple other jobs that are like totally different that you also have available to you. So one of the big ones that you'll find is sales. Now there's lots of mixed opinions on sales. People don't like it because you have to work for your money. Some people like it because you get to work for your money. It's totally everyone's own opinion. But I will say that I got the most opportunities and callbacks and connections made with sales companies because they want people. And I will say though that they really, really loved teachers. Every single company that I talked to that was a sales job, they expressed how they have hired so many teachers in the past, how their teachers are some of their best employees. They just really loved teachers. They felt like a lot of our skills and qualifications that we have transfer over to sales, which is true. And there are so many companies out there that are in sales that you could get into. So you have such a wide variety of opportunities as a salesperson if you want that. So I didn't end up going the sales route because I didn't love the idea of being commission-based. So obviously sales is usually more of a businessy job. And if you are someone that is thinking of totally nixing the whole education world and trying something new, like getting into business like I was, I think sales could be a really great first stepping stone because you're getting your foot in that door, you're getting into the business industry. It might not be your forever job, but it definitely gets you started. And once you have your foot in that door, you can make all sorts of connections, you get to know different companies. I just think it's a really great stepping stone. Okay, another area is IT, so kind of technical work. Now, I did not really explore much of this. However, when I was considering leaving teaching, I was all over like ex-teacher TikTok and all of that stuff, and everybody that I saw that left teaching, like that was the route they went. They went into IT. So I know that's a possibility. They were super successful people, loving what they did. They thought it was super interesting. Once again, it's very different from teaching. However, you have the skills and the qualifications to go do it. So IT work, I mean, I think that would be a great field to explore if you are someone that's into technology, or even if you're not super into it yet, it would be a great field to enter if it's something you would like to get into. So then the last big job area that I got a lot of opportunities from as well is more clerical work. So like office administrator, office assistant, executive assistant, things like that. If you are someone that's super organized, likes to keep track of things, likes to write, is good with communication, is just kind of someone that can hold the glue together, which I'm going to be honest, if you're a teacher, you're probably pretty good at it because I feel like that's what I did for my whole career. Most of the companies that I talked to said that they have ex-teachers there that have been working there for years and they're some of their best employees again, and they just love teachers. So super great opportunity if you are looking at something away from education. But I will say that area I really was interested in because I love that kind of stuff. However, I didn't take those job opportunities because I found that they didn't pay what I wanted them to pay. But if you are somebody that does not need a specific income, maybe you're not too picky, you can rely on somebody else, or you have other things set up for you, maybe getting into some sort of office administrative job could be good because it might just be a great stepping stone once again. So once you get in there, you get to know the company, you can move up within companies, you get to network again, and you'll be able to get out of that specific job and make more money in the future if you want to, but I just think it would be a really great starting point. So those were the jobs that I had the most opportunities from, the most people that interviewed me, the most job offers from. However, I didn't even get to the job that I ended up taking, which is another opportunity. I just found that it wasn't as common, but I definitely think it's worth looking into. My specific job that I have now is coming from a temp agency, or something like a temp agency. What I did is I found the job on Indeed or LinkedIn, I forget which one, and it was through this one company. They told me basically that they would pay me, my job would be to study for the next couple of months to get the certifications or the licenses that I need to become a financial advisor. So basically I will become an investment consultant where I will just be teaching people, just teaching adults what their investment opportunities are. So I am right now being paid, my job is to study, and when I'm done studying and I get my licenses, then my temp agency is going to pass me along to the banking company that I will then be working for. I honestly did not know from the job description that I found that that's exactly what this was. I assumed that the company that I saw on that job posting was who I was going to be working for. I did not realize they'd be passing me along. I knew that before I took the job. They explained it all to me, but that's kind of just how I found it. So definitely something else to look into. I'm sure there are tons of temp agencies out there. You just kind of have to dig a little bit deeper because like I said, they don't necessarily post what exactly it is. You might have to ask them some more questions or figure out like what the end result would be. Are they going to pass you along to somebody? Do you stay there for a certain amount of time and then go? Is it up to you to find a new job? However it's going to work. Lots of different options with temp agencies, but that's kind of where I ended up, and I'm really happy that I did. So I did kind of want to share with you some of the ways that I found my new job and how I searched and searched and searched, and some of the things that I did that helped me, I felt like, get the new job that I found. So the two main websites that I used were LinkedIn and Indeed. I started off on Indeed. You can literally search so many things, and I used the little filters at the top to kind of help sort my searches. I made sure to put in entry level because I was looking totally outside of the education world. So I don't have a degree in that. I have no certifications to be in that world. So I wanted to make sure that I was only getting jobs that were something that I could do, which is entry level. I left my salary a little bit of a wider range because I really just wanted to see what my options were. I will say I participated in many interviews, most of them which I was not actually interested in. I applied to every single job that I even was remotely interested in. I took interviews for jobs that I knew I didn't actually want. I just wanted to see what was out there, and I wanted to have as many chances to basically practice in an interview so that when it came to the ones that I really cared about, I knew what to do. Because like I said, I am now in an industry that I don't have experience in, and I've never interviewed for them before. So I felt like it was super important, and I'm very happy that I did it, that I went and interviewed for as many different things as I could, because I got to understand the questions that they ask in the business industry. I got to understand what they were looking for. Some lingo, I got to ask questions and just really explore. So if I can give you any tip, if you are leaving the education industry as a whole, take your opportunities. Even if it's really not something you think is going to be the one, just try it and see what comes out of it, because you will learn from them. So going back to LinkedIn and Indeed, I actually signed up for the premium membership on LinkedIn. You get a month free, and I never ended up paying for anything. I did it for a month, and what that does is help your profile get outsourced to more people. More companies can find you. They can look at your resume. People started contacting me instead of me contacting them, and I felt like it would just open up my opportunities even more. So if you can, it's a free trial for a month. You just put your information in. Just make sure you cancel it before the month is up if you don't want to pay for it, but it really helped my name and resume get out there. Okay, my next big tip would be to add to your resume. My resume was geared towards being a teacher, and I will say it was kind of a fun resume. It had color on it, it was cutesy, and that's kind of what I was taught as a teacher to do, because it made you stand out. And while I didn't take away everything from my resume that was like kind of fun, because I still wanted my resume to pop a little bit, I definitely added more qualifications. On my teaching resume, I really tried to simplify it to just strictly educational things. So curriculums that I was familiar with, technology in the classroom I was familiar with, just very specific teaching skills, if you will. So when I switched to my new resume, I really didn't know what job I was gonna get or exactly what I was hoping to get. I just wanted to explore. I made it so much more broad. I added more technology skills. I added a lot more communication specific skills, because that's a really big thing in a lot of industries outside of education too, is just communication. I just kind of revamped it up so that it made me look like I was more well-rounded, I guess, and not just teaching. I just really hoped that one of those other aspects would make me look interesting to some other field. So I would say revamp your resume. Don't just leave it as your teaching one, and I think it will really help you broaden your horizon and really make you look like you're qualified for so many other things, because you are. And then my last tip that I can give you is that even if you don't find the job that you are set on, like you are not in love with it, I will say it's scary leaving your job, and you really question yourself. At least I did. Am I making the right decision? What is this new industry that I'm getting into? I really don't know if I'm doing the right thing. So my tip for you would be to find a company that is good, that you feel comfortable in, and that you have room to grow, because whether the job that you start off as is your dream job or not, you're going to be able to find room to grow in that company. So maybe you start off low, but even if that's the case, you will be able to build your way up as you learn more about the industry, but you'll still be in that company that you feel comfortable in, that you feel secure in, and that you're excited to grow in. So those are really the biggest tips that I have. I really hope that they help some of you kind of get some ideas on where you can look to become something else other than a teacher, if that's the path that you're trying to take. I didn't just take the first job that I was offered. I was offered many jobs before I took one. I probably searched for 3 months or so since the beginning of the school year before I finally felt confident enough in a new area, in a new industry, to take the job that I took. And even then, I was still really nervous. I know it can be hard staying in the teaching industry if you are so over it. The way that I looked at it was, when I was still teaching but I was looking for other jobs, I wasn't going to take the first job that was offered to me because I didn't want to be unhappy again. I knew what it felt like. I was feeling it at that moment while teaching. I didn't want to feel that again, being in a new job and feeling stuck. So although I was not happy with my job, I kept it because I had a job. It wasn't like I was desperate to find a new job. I still had one. It just wasn't one that I liked, but it was a secure job. So I kept it as long as I could, and when I finally found a job that I really felt like I was ready to take that leap into, that's when I did it. So I know it's hard, I know it's frustrating, and it can be kind of a long process, but I just say take your time, find something that you really feel like you're going to be interested in doing, and talk to as many people as you possibly can. If you guys have any more questions about my little journey here with leaving teaching, please let me know down in the comments. I would be happy to answer any more questions that you have. I'm sure that I forgot some things here. I just really hope that by sharing my experience with you, you are able to make the best decisions for yourself and your life. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!